The top 12 reasons for miscommunication between pilots and controllers. In this video, you're going to see the first reason for miscommunication between pilots and controllers. Don't miss the exciting video that really demonstrates how easy it is for miscommunications to happen and the disastrous effects they can have. In aviation, clear and timely communication is crucial for safety. Any misunderstanding or miscommunication between the pilot and ground could potentially be disastrous. Simply being aware of these top 12 reasons is the first important step to avoiding them. Reason 1. Call sign confusion. Aircraft call sign confusion is an annoyance throughout the world and has been implicated in many incidents when pilots have accepted clearances meant for others. There have been calls in the UK and North America for a central system for controlling the allocation of call signs. It is not unheard of for there to be several aircraft with similar call signs on the same frequency. In Asia, number 8 is considered to be a very lucky number, so you can imagine the likelihood of incidents arising from call sign confusion in this region. Solutions. Controllers need to ensure that instructions are received by the correct aircraft. Pilots need to ensure that they read back the instruction that is intended for them. Practice listening to numbers spoken in different accents. Practicing the pronunciation of numbers is a must for any pilot flying internationally. Mid-air collision. 12th of November 1996. Over Sharki Dadri, Haryana, India. Saudi Arabian Airlines Flight 763, a Boeing 747-168B, en route from New Delhi, India to Dhahran, Saudi Arabia, collided in mid-air with Kazakhstan Airlines Flight 1907, an Illusion LL-76, en route from Shymkent, Kazakhstan to New Delhi. Call sign confusion was cited as one of the factors contributing to the disaster. Watch a short clip of the investigation. See the evidence revealed.
To understand why the Kazakh plane kept descending after it was told to hold, investigators turn to the cockpit voice recorder. It begins long before the crash itself. Initially, there are no hints that anything is wrong.
Kazakh 1907, report level passing.
Passing 240, Kazakh 1907.
Because the Ilyushin 76 is a modified military plane, it has another unusual feature, a position for a radio operator in the cockpit. Igor Rep mans that position and handles all communications for the Kazakh flight.
Roger, over to Delhi approach 127.9.
127.9, bye-bye, Kazakh 1907.
As the aircraft nears the airport, Rep gets in touch with approach controller Dutta.
Delhi approach, good evening. Kazakh 1907.
Passing 230 to 180.
I told Kazakh to descend and maintain flight level 150. That is 15,000 feet.
Roger, Kazakh 1907. Descend flight level 150. Report reaching.
1,000 feet vertical separation is sufficient, and that was granted to the two aircraft.
Kazakh 1907, now reach 150.
The Kazakhstan radio operator had at one time stated reaching flight level 150.
It's just 1 minute before the impact. And at this point, the Kazakh plane appears to be right where it's supposed to be, 1,000 feet higher than the Saudi plane. But investigators know that instead of leveling off, the plane continued to descend.
This is where the trouble starts.
As investigators compare the flight data information to the cockpit voice, they notice something disturbing.
Kazakh 1907, now reach 150.
When Rep calls out that they've descended to 15,000 feet, he's actually over 1,000 feet higher than he thinks he is. Investigators wonder how he could make such an enormous mistake. Why would he say he was at 15,000 feet, when in fact he was at 16,000? They consider the layout of the cockpit.
A radio operator does not have its independent altimeter. There are two metric altimeters fitted in front of, one each in front of the pilots. With some effort, the radio operator could also see this.
Whatever the reason, Rep is mistaken about his plane's height, and he's the only one in contact with the ground. Despite being told to remain at 15,000 feet, the plane continues to descend. As it does, Dutta issues a warning to the Kazakh pilots.
Identified traffic, 12 o'clock reciprocal, Saudi Boeing 747 and 10 miles. Likely to cross in another 5 miles. Report if in sight.
He tells them to watch out for the Saudi flight, but the Kazakh jet just keeps flying lower.
Ahead. Ahead.
Just before the crash, Igor Rep seems to have recognized that the plane is now flying dangerously low. But his warning doesn't come in time.
Keep the 150. Do not descend. Accelerate, Sanyo.
The cockpit voice recorder proves what investigators found in the flight data. At the time of the crash, the Kazakh jet was trying desperately to get back on course.
Get to the 150 because of the 140. Don't run!
But investigators are still puzzled. Why had the Kazakh plane kept descending?
After ruling out controller's error, ruling out the mechanical failure, you have to go further into details of human behavior during the operation of a flight. We examined their background of knowledge of English language. The crew in the Soviet states, they pass English examination, but they're not fluent in spoken English.
Verma now listens more closely to the cockpit voice recorder, looking for an indication that the crew misunderstood their instructions. Had a language barrier caused the crash?
How many miles?
Traffic is at 8 miles, level 140.
Did the Kazakh pilots confuse their own altitude with that allocated to the Saudi aircraft?
For a free lesson to improve your listening skills for aviation English and avoid call sign confusion, come visit us at www.practiceicaoenglish.com/free lesson.